Hi, Gamer here. In this lecture, I will take you step by step and show you how to compile your Houdini Engine plugin for Unreal Engine to the latest version of Unreal Engine, which is the UE 5.8. So if your version of Houdini is not compatible with it, I will show you how to compile it from source and make it compatible. So make sure to follow up, and without further ado, let's go with it. Before compiling your plugin, make sure that you have your C++ environment already there and installed. To do so, you just open up the Visual Studio installer and look for the workloads that are installed. Make sure that development for C++ in games are already there. This is the first and most important prerequisite you need. The second thing we need to do is to go to the GitHub of Houdini and check for the version that is the most up to date and the most near your version. And this is where we're looking for our plugin. This is the GitHub for the source of the Houdini plugin for Unreal Engine. And depending on your version, you need to look up the one you need to. Obviously, the latest version is 22.0, so this is the one that is make there by default. The way we do that is as simple as possible. So we look for the Houdini version we are using, and we take the source code of the Houdini plugin and then compile. Obviously, if you have the binary version or the plugin already in the release form, you should go with that. No need to compiling. So let's say, for example, you have the Houdini 21.0, and let's check the available version for Unreal. So if I go to the releases and do a check here, you will see that, for example, for the Houdini 20.0.729, these are the versions that are available. That means that you already have the UE 5.6, and the version UE 5.7. So obviously, if you have this version, you are stuck with those version of Unreal, and you should use those. Let's check first the version I'm using, and the version I'm using is the 21.0.4.4, and this is where I see my version. So if I want to check the version I need to go back to the GitHub, and if I check here, I need to go to the 21.0 branch, change for it, and look for the releases that are there. So if I click here, chances that the 21.0 or my version is here. So let's check. This is the version you need to go for if you already have your Unreal version between UE 5.5 and 5.6. But you can see that the UE 5.7 and the latest version of Unreal Engine is not available. So this is why we need to compile it from source. Now, what should we do? We need to make first check the latest version of 21.0, and this is the version we are aiming. And we should now download directly from the zip here the version we are aiming for. So let's download the zip folder for it, Houdini Plugin to compile. This is the zip file, and if I do an extract, I should have now this Houdini Engine for Unreal 21.0 and Unreal 5.0. Before continuing, please consider check out my latest course on Udemy. This is a course that will cost you less than $10, and you have more than 2 hours on-demand video, 1 downloadable resource, and full-time access. You will see how to create your own city with Houdini and Unreal Engine City Sample Project, and I guide you from start to finish to know all the things you need to create your own city. Help me continue the good content on this channel. Thanks again, and let's continue with our lecture. Let's do the first step of compiling the project, and the first step is to create a C++ project on the version you are aiming to. Do a new project, and let's go with the blank project, but careful to start with the C++ project. Although you can always start with the blueprint one and then add a class and you go with it. Let's go, for example, with the blueprint one, and let's go create it in the default folder. All Right, so this is a blueprint project. There's no C++ there, and you can always go to the tools and add an empty C++ class, and this way you can make it ready for C++. So it doesn't matter the name of the class, it's just to make your project compatible with C++. All right, so include sources, say okay, edit the code now. Yeah, I can do it, but you can do it later. No, let's do it later. And the first thing we need to do is to go to the editor preference and make sure you have live coding turned off, because it's very important that it doesn't interfere with our compiling. So I disable it by default in all my projects. So this being said, let's make a new basic level, save it. Once you have that, just close your project, no need to use it. And the next step now will be to go to the place where your project lives, projects, and we have who plug. And you can see that I already have a solution because I added a C++ file. So no need to generate anything. The next step would be to create a plugins folder, and you create in it another folder called runtime. And now you need to create a Houdini Engine folder. There it is. Once you have that, you go back to the folder you downloaded from the GitHub. And remember, we downloaded this version, and we need to copy this to the folder we created. So go back to Houdini Engine folder we created. So remember your project we just created, create plugins, runtime, Houdini Engine, and then you do a paste of all the files here. But before compiling, we need to make our plugin compatible with our version of Houdini. So we need to make a slight change here. It's a manual change. So what we will do, we'll change for 7.8T to 4.4.0, which is my version. So we need to do this line, and also this line, we need to make it 4.4.0. This is the only trick you need to make. So make sure you edit this file. And once you've done that, we should be good to go. So the next step would be to open the Visual Studio project, which we will do now. So you can do a right click build here, but I always do my Unreal Visual Studio quick build, and I go from here, go to development editor and Win64. But you can also do a right click and do a build. It works the same. So let's go with Win64, and now it will start building the solution, and also it will start building the Houdini plugin we did put inside the project. You can see I did a rebuild because I already tested this build in another project, and this is the way to go. So if you make it this far, make sure that you like the lecture, put up that thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and see you in my next lecture. Thanks again.